Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
What the fuck is that?
Every horror movie you've ever watched has that build-up music of
Hang on, let me just fade out the audio completely. Now do it again. Well, if you're wondering at this point, you've found yourself listening to Send It Mate podcasts, a place where three wacky and generally moronic dudes hang out and get together, have a few beers, and talk some smack. And we generally have a bit of a hunter focus on the world. That's our outlook. But hey, it doesn't matter if you're not a hunter. You can still listen to this podcast because we talk about all sorts of crap. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Josh, and is Couchy listening to something in the background? Or is that delay?
I'm not listening to something. I was trying to search something up, but it's probably delay because the topic of this episode is probably going to be failed NBN.
NBN sucks a fat donkey dick. This is why we're having dramas. I'm at home. I'm on NBN. I'm getting fucking 3 megabits a second, if I'm even lucky, which makes it hard. Patching in for you, and now we have a weird delay. This is just crap, man.
All I can
hell.
think about when you say NBN is Auntie Donna's skit about, oh, would you like some NBN?
Top dudes. We love it.
See, like what I was saying to Caleb before, and what we probably should have recorded was the fact that you need to update your internet because you're getting 2 megabits a second. I'm getting around mid-hundreds.
Mid-hundreds?
The rest of Australia that's not on NBN is getting over 100.
Can you clarify?
Hey?
What do you mean by mid-hundreds? Like, you're talking 500?
What?
You said mid-hundreds.
150s.
Oh, okay. Mid-100s. Okay.
That's mid-500s.
Okay, just 150. Fucking hell. That's a lot quicker.
You with me now? Like your brain.
I'm generally getting 40 if I'm lucky. Tonight is diabolical.
But yeah, like I feel like
What do you feel like? Keep talking.
What I feel like is people that go like living NBN.
I mean, at this point, do we just go audio only?
So I was having a look because I knew we were going to just bite into this topic. And literally, like the NBA, well, I think we do because video is pointless.
Yeah. Well, see
How much am I delayed right now? That's the problem.
Oh, well, video won't be recorded. You can turn on. Yeah, all right, cool. Well, I'm just switched to. Well, that might make it a bit better, actually, because we're not recording the video. Welcome to Send It, Mate, everyone. This is just a shit show right now.
Hopefully.
No internet.
This is hilarious. Josh, we're still here. Shannon, like, this wouldn't be an issue if Shannon wasn't here.
Well, this is true.
So we'll blame him for this entire thing.
Yep.
We'll power on. We'll keep recording. How's your day been anyway, mate? You're all right? You a bit tired? You sweaty?
Look, it's been a long day. Wednesday's the hardest days, man. I get up at like 5. So after doing that, like for 3 consecutive days and having a kid, it just sort of like Wednesday hits hard. Real hard.
The old hump day hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's not great, man.
And I'd like to say I quenched the pain with beers on a Wednesday, but the truth is it's probably like every night.
All right, so you've developed a drinking habit on a Wednesday.
Oh, no, look, I'll have 1 or 2 wines pretty much every night, man. Actually, I had a gentleman give me, well, we traded for some ammo, some red wine. So, and it is Catnook Estate.
Catnook Estate.
Yep, in the southeast. And I've got to admit, it is a fine drop. So he gave us a 07 Shiraz and then a carton of 2015. And I have to admit, the 2015 is on point. I actually thought the 07 would be nice, but after drinking it, I'm like, yeah, look, it's a bit bitey. It's a bit hard, like very harsh on the palate. But the 2015 was smooth, and it had been sitting in my car for like a good couple of days.
I find there's very few Shirazes I like. I'm generally more of a Pinot Tempranillo.
So you don't like that harsh bite?
Yeah, I don't really like that harsh bite.
Yeah, see, I do. I enjoy it because it makes you feel alive.
Mind you, I don't mind a pepper jack.
Yeah. Another good one to try is Taylor's. Taylor's do a fine Shiraz. But look, I agree. There's a time and place for it. And I think these days I substitute other wines for sparkling, which is kind of super weird. But it's refreshing. A nice sparkling Shiraz. It's refreshing, man.
I see. I can't get around a sparkling red. It's like it's nice here and there, but to sit down and do a session sparkling, just not a thing.
I think you just need to go harder at it.
Potentially. Nah, like if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, man. Like I've reached an age where I've developed my tastes, and I don't think I'm going to really find anything too new and interesting.
That's pretty brand.
Yeah, well.
Like dead set, since I've tried my missus' mum's cooking, like honestly, it's like, and now having a kid, and when you see the kid first figures something out or she finds something new or whatever, and her look in her eye and just everything, that's what it was like when I was trying my missus' mum's cooking. Like Italian, and I mean like my mum is brand, once again at cooking. So when I'm eating these dinner, and she's ruined us for going out to like sort of restaurants and eating out. There's one place that I would recommend out of everywhere I've eaten in Australia, in South Australia, and that's Red Flamingo. Red
Flamingo.
Yeah, it's like near the Adelaide Oval. It's an Italian joint.
Don't know, bro.
Pretty sure it's look. Go there and try it because it's a bit pricey, but look, it's satisfying. All right, and it's none of this pub food. It's none of this like crap.
Is that by the bridge?
Yeah,
I think I know the one. I just didn't know it as Red Flamingo.
Bro. It's either that or like, for some reason I got Flumo Blues.
Flumo Blues is like a
But
restaurant / club.
nah, that's not it.
That's on Rundle.
But
Anyway, this is tremendous padding while we try and reconnect to Shannon, and it's doing fuck all. Shall we just continue without him, or shall we just bail?
I don't know, bro.
Let's keep trying anyway. Oh, we might be onto something. Hey,
Oh, he's
we're
back.
He's back in. We've just been padding. Badly.
I'm back in. You guys are back in.
Like, do we want to keep going with this or just bail?
It depends if it drops out again. Like, I think we'd probably get a better connectivity on a phone call.
Oh, we could just call you.
That would probably work better that way because we can probably almost go offline. Ish.
This is us doing stuff on the fly for the listeners. We're powering through.
Shooting from the hip.
This is legitimately shooping from the hip. We are shooting
sheep.
for you out there in podcast land. We're just getting it done. We're overcoming. We're adapting and overcoming. Not going to edit any of this. It's just going to be a raw heap of shit.
You should just put your address out to the wide community and get everyone to come here for an audience.
How do I get better internet outside of NBN?
Starlink.
I think you should get Starlink's probably going to be out of your wanted price range, but just because you don't need it. But there's other options.
All right. So I reckon what we do is we'll phone call you. You go live via the phone.
See how that goes.
So 10 minutes in, we're going to cut you off completely. Josh and I were talking about wine and it was shit. Wasn't a...
Right. Wine is not shit.
Look, with no expertise whatsoever, we're just rambling about wine to pad. But let's get into the good stuff when we return. Hopefully he picks up the phone.
Hello, Red Shannon Couch. You can leave a message, I'll get back to you.
What are you fucking doing, clown? What? Oh, come on, mate. Let me... Why is he not up? Oh, now he's ringing. Yo. Hang on. What? This is an absolute clusterfuck. This is possibly the worst start to a pod ever.
Are we still going at this point or what?
We are. Let's persevere. Everyone can laugh along with how bad this has been. This is possibly... Are we getting worse?
It sounds like it.
I age like a fine wine, mate. Thank you.
This is almost unlistenable.
Look, it is.
I
wouldn't put
this is
it
a
out
perfect reason why you need to get better internet.
All right. Well, we've
And
labelled that.
now you sound like John Laws in the 1980s on the wireless, mate.
Is that a good thing?
No.
Well, we're on FM surround sound, and you're on fucking AM crackle, smack, pop, bang.
I tried to connect my earpods, but they're dead. So that didn't work.
You basically sound like you're DOS based.
This is season 1 times.
I mean, you never know.
How about you guys finish off this episode yourself, and I'll just chill.
Oh, fucking all right! Just bail on us, why don't you?
Man,
I feel like I'm bringing this down.
Kid to get to.
How about we keep it short? How about we cap this at half an hour from here, just so the listeners at home have something. Or
let's go.
We'll put it to a vote. Do you want to keep going or just can it?
You just want to keep them moist.
Oh yeah.
Just get something out.
All right, well, let's start fucking waffling and we'll just do this week's shoot from the hip, shall we?
All right, let's do that.
Let's do that. And look, I even became prepared. I can't even speak. I'm having an aneurysm. I got prepared this week and I did this.
think you were premature as well then.
Well, good.
How many times does this go on?
Triple shoot from the hip.
Wow.
Well, it is shoot from the hip.
That was terrible.
Well, I could do better. That was a rush job.
Cut that down to one sound, I think.
All right, well, I'll cut it down to one next time we record.
We're shooting from the hip, literally.
Yeah, we are. We've nearly been overcome by the internet issues today. So let's get into it. Who wants to go first?
No,
I got mine.
Right.
So mine will be cancel culture, holding people accountable, or killing free speech. Which one?
Cancel culture. Run it again.
So cancel culture. So obviously you went through COVID and you saw all that BS about how people cracking down on just stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So holding people accountable for what they've been speaking out upon, or killing free speech. So I feel like this sort of blends into the COVID era as well, where you had the media and all that shutting down doctors, and the people that were actually giving their expert advice, because it went against what the sort of government wanted to push, so they cancelled them. Go on.
All right, I'll bring this back to hunting straight away because today I saw Queensland.
That's been going on for a bit now.
Aussie Reviews, he put out a post saying that they're going to ban a 300 Winchester Magnum for big game hunting. There's a reason.
So the last 12, just to give context, the last 12 months they've been stopping PTAs for 338 lapels. That was the first caliber I noticed. And then, the 300 Win Mag has been another one. So the firearms branch has been cancelling PTAs for those calibers. They're just outright saying they won't approve them. There's no legislation or law against it, but the actual firearms branch is stopping it, just from personal opinion, really.
Phase out on their own.
See, this is a little strange, and I'd like to know if New South Wales and Victoria are in the same boat, because here in South Australia, suddenly PTAs are taking 6, 7, 8 weeks to sort of get through the process.
Really?
Process. Yeah.
The last firearm I got in SA was like 4 days.
Yeah, same, actually.
Is that 6-7 weeks for like first time firearms?
No. This is period, actually.
They're pushing it back now.
Like period. Whether you've got 20 guns or whether you've got 3 or 1. They are, and it's kind of weird because everything that's happened in WA and then Queensland is sort of like a fair bit came out in the media about what they were wanting to do, and then it sort of died off. But then simultaneously, this is almost going on in the background, SA's sort of taking a step back with PTAs, and it's sort of like, is this a nationwide thing? Now, I do know they're rolling out the national firearm identity thing, which is not a bad thing. And look, it's used already here in South Australia. It's not a bad thing at all. All it does is basically let the government know how many guns and what type of guns are in circulation. Not a bad thing. I don't disagree with that at all.
It's not needed either.
Well, look, you're just talking about accountability. I think it is.
But that's where you sort of start drawing that line. That line becomes grey. So if you start allowing that, where with every law that they're trying to impose on, that's not the end game. That's just the start.
Like, I agree, you're drawing a line in the sand. You've got to draw the line somewhere. But at the same time, police have a very difficult job, right? And the government do, because they have to
100%.
keep the citizens safe and feeling safe, but also allow people to have their freedoms.
But there's making public the amount of firearms in the area. Does that make people feel safe, or does that make people safe?
No. That should never be released. The amount of firearms in one suburb. That was
across Australia is the same thing, just a wider area.
Yeah, but they're not doing that. They're just having a national database to go what's where when. That's fine.
Yeah.
They should never get to the media or the public. No, because then you're getting targeted criminal attacks or robberies. And so, look, and that's a that's something that they've got to work on. But having accountability for what's out there where, look, I kind of get that, especially when you're talking about public safety, man. Now, don't get me wrong. I am pro firearms. Like, pro, and I think our freedom shouldn't be eroded. But accountability and safety needs to be taken into consideration. Now, how that's done, I ain't the man to come up with that. None of us are. None of us are. And we're certainly not paid enough to come up with the answer for that. So, but having said that, that doesn't stop the fact that accountability needs to be there. Just like I'm all for firearm storage laws. You know what? That's probably the worst accident that a firearm owner could have is if we didn't have storage laws and your kid or, you know, requirements how to keep your firearms and your kid just grabbed your gun out of your old man's cupboard and shot himself or shot a brother or a sister or a sibling or something. That's a completely avoidable thing.
100%.
I feel like that can go overboard as well, like where WA is kind of heading, is that excessive storage laws. So they're kind of getting a little, I don't know, in my opinion, overdone in what the size limit of the material, like the size of steel, needed for a firearm storage locker.
I agree.
So they're definitely too far.
You're drawing the line in the sand again. You know, there's got to be some give and take. And look, a 3 mil thick safe steel that's bolted down or weighs over a certain amount, that is more than sufficient. More than sufficient. It should not extend any further to that. And or if they do, CCTV, you know, that's fine. You know, the worst case scenario, having to put CCTV in. But it's again that line in the sand. Now, what we're also seeing is the media reporting more lately on gun violence and gun crime. So one, any seizures that police, organised crime units in the police have seized and found, and two, the amount of armed hold-ups and or gun-related violence. Now, this is something that, what I said before, it'd be very difficult for the government to do because they're like, yeah, licensed shooters, they should still be able to shoot. But how do you differentiate? That's it. Between that and criminal organisations, you know, and make the two separate.
There's a clear way to do it, though, is if the firearm itself was used by the registered owner. Because regardless of what laws you make, if someone steals a firearm to use it in an improper way, then a law is not going to change anything about that.
Yes, but if you've noticed, the media's also been harping on about licensed shooters that have had a breakdown and then suddenly attacked their spouse or wives, etc., etc.
So were you referencing the Queensland incident?
Well, no,
the WA incident. Sorry.
Well, that's one, but there's been a couple. There was one here.
So that's been proved. The fact that the police actually they had all knowledge about the incident prior to the actual event and chose to do nothing about it.
And look,
so
there are warning
that's
signs.
Not a firearm problem, then that's a police problem, and that's people we're trusting to right the wrong.
They're just going to say no, that's a mental health problem, and you know that's it. We should just anyone with mental health issues should just not have a gun. That's not true because one thing I've learnt in my life, right, and I think we can all attest to, there are periods in your life that you go through that may last a week, a day, a year, 2 years or whatever, where you're going through a little bit of a struggle, right, internally. That doesn't make you an unfit person whatsoever. That does not at all. But does it need to be identified and then precautions put in place? Hey, look, that's not a bad thing if you're talking about public safety. You know?
See, downfall I see on that as well. Sorry, Cal, I'm not going to give you a chance to get in.
No, it's fine.
But,
I'd rather that than talk over top of you all the time.
You're used to it, aren't you? So you look at the firearms and how if you have a mental health issue, then they're going to talk down on you, or the Firearms Act's going to take away your firearms. But then we've also got a men's health issue where people in Australia, the men in Australia, aren't willing to speak up about the issues they are having. And then if they're a firearm owner you're a male, then that's a double reason why not to talk about it.
And look, there's a long history of that. There are so many cockies that have committed suicide because they've gone through a drought and they've used a firearm to do it.
Correct.
Like
Yes, so we're in 2025 now, and we're not encouraging the fact of talking about your issues.
And look, I agree. So it's an educational issue, and it's a issue that the police need to, well, the government needs to address fairly and justly. Now, that's not just lumping every firearm shooter into one category and going, you're all bad, you're all wrong, etc., etc. And that's certainly not, okay, you've had a week where you're down in the dumps, that's it, take away your guns, put you in that category. But there is a balance, and there is, if you're a licensed owner and you're going through some issues and you've seen a therapist and you've been honest with them, they'll make the call for themselves. Okay, we need to take this further, or no, you're okay. And if they
It'd be nice to know where that line actually does sit.
Well, this is
from
where
a psychiatrist kind of perspective, because I'm guessing they have the okay to reach out on one of their clients if they're speaking about this and raising red flags.
So maybe this should be an issue within teaching these doctors how to address this issue. And realistically, it's probably a whole new field in psychiatry that you could go and upskill or make a niche market for yourself to do. That's not a bad issue. That's not a bad thing. And make it affordable. Maybe a government subsidised thing as well for clients to go see them if you're a licensed shooter. To be like, okay, it's all right that you're going through this. We're not going to belittle you and lump you into this evil category. It's okay.
Yeah,
at the moment, the knee-jerk reaction is, oh, you've got an issue. That's it. We'll raid your home, take all your guns, and then you've got to go through a lengthy year-long or years-long process to get it back.
Yeah. I think the issue, just say myself, I can only speak for myself, but if I was going through issues and I knew that, if I was going through this time, that my firearm's going to be taken away from me, but I knew that I'll get them back in a respectable manner where I didn't have to prove to the end of the earth that I was fine.
And they
if
were
I got back to a point. Exactly.
Yep.
It wasn't a guaranteed loss of license, loss of everything, and they get sold off to someone else. But if they just held them for, I guess, a goodwill, that until you recover, then they're not going to make it. So you have to, prove beyond doubt, I guess.
And look,
it's a hard one.
I agree with that, and I also agree that, to be honest, loaning your firearms for a fellow firearm owner to store in your absence is acceptable.
100%. If you can get a mate to look after it, that'd be perfect.
I personally believe that wholeheartedly, but
I can understand why they'll be against that.
Look, that's going to be costly for the government itself and the state police that have to enforce it. But hey, we're talking about fairness and not being cancelled. So these things the government all need to address and come up with a fair way to do this, to be honest, man. And like many shooters, I dare say they get their happy place and their sense of relief when they're on the range slinging a lead, or they're out legally hunting, shooting some deer or, I don't know, pigs or foxes or whatever. And that's their happy place and their relief. That's the way they cope with some things. Okay, we all know that, all three of us like going bush and like going hunting, even though it's work to get meat back to the home. it's still like that break where you can just not think about any of like the worldly issues or your life's issues. We
I think
all
once you
take
disconnect from
solace in that.
technology, you start sort of flexing that way of like releasing those issues of, your work, lifestyle stuff that, if you don't have your service for your phone, then those issues can't catch up with you. So therefore you sort of, I don't know, I want to say it's sort of a meditative state, but it's not, it's hunting. And that's, in my opinion, almost the same.
Yeah, it's a circuit breaker, just like a reset, get back to what feels more actually natural to do. Be out in nature. It's such a good way to recover from the world we live, because I don't think any of us are designed to work 8 hours a day in an office.
No way.
So yeah, it's quite often if you get your firearms taken away from you and you can't do the thing you love, then you're probably going to decline even more. The thing for me with all this around mental health is what is the defining, because it's so subjective, what actually defines what means someone is unfit? Like, what do they actually have to express to a psychologist or someone for them to then deem them unfit to be in possession of firearms? Because it is such a personal, individual, subjective thing. Like, yes, I get it. If someone's expressed suicidal thoughts, fucking straight away.
Yeah, so self-harm or harm to others.
See, that's why.
Other than that, it's workable.
I wanted to say the fact of that I would rather action self-harm, like harm to others before self-harm. But then again, you hear most people, if they're going to commit suicide, they'll take someone with them. So therefore, it justifies the action. But yeah, it's hard to really sort of jump on a certain thing. What is a certain trigger to be able to action a removal of firearms? Because yeah, as you said, Josh, that everyone has bad days, bad weeks. So if someone decides to vocalize that at a certain wrong time where someone else hears that, they could misperceive the actions. It's just a bad week. Everyone has them, but it's not suicidal thoughts or you're not going to do any wrongdoing by it. So yeah, where is that line? I don't think there's a definitive answer, but it'd be nice if there was.
Well, this is, I guess, part of how do I put this? When you go for your thesis.
Thesis.
Yeah, when you're doing your degree and you go for your masters or whatever, they essentially have to come up with knowledge, right? To write a thesis, you essentially have to come up with new knowledge. And this is what I meant before about it's a good niche for a doctor, because you can study this and you can come up with the answers. It's not that hard. And someone could write their thesis on this and start a niche practice quite easily, and work with the government and be a pro shooter.
Probably someone does it already.
Yeah, more than likely. There's someone now to have that reviewed and that knowledge reviewed consistently for something like this needs to happen because obviously, as Caleb said, like you're immersed in technology now where 50 years ago it was different. So a constant reboot is not a bad thing. Like, every 10 years or something like that, rethink about what you got to do. There's got to be
someone out there that's definitely had that, I guess, that education, and they had the gain of knowledge to try and come up with a way, but yet the government hasn't accepted it. And they're like, it makes so much sense that this is the correct way. But yet someone that hasn't had that education is choosing no.
You see, this is where I think the government's just had an attack or attacking firearm owners. Like it's a cancel culture. It's like, well, we wouldn't have to do this if there was no guns in play.
Well, I was about to say something along those lines because firearms are an easy target. Like they're a very dramatic way of, if you're in a very bad mental health space, of ending your life with a firearm. But, without access to firearms, which is the majority of the population, then we're talking knives, we're talking jumping off bridges, we're talking driving headfirst into a tree or jumping in front of a train. Like we're not talking about banning any of those things, but we're talking about...
you're just removing a tool.
Well, that's funny because they are banning knife carry. And now there's also legislation in what knives should be allowed to be sold. So I believe that it was like blade length. They were working out legislation about you can't own a blade over X amount of inches, and that comes from the recent machete attacks from the last couple of years that have been building up. Which look, you remove the knife, you remove the gun, someone's going to use a hammer or a car or this and that.
If you're that far down a path, you will find a way, like with whatever is available to you.
Yeah. So, the reason why I keep harping on about the whole education thing is because if we brought back like firearm education into school, it doesn't have to be compulsory, maybe compulsory, a class or a week-long thing when you're in, I don't know, grade 10 or 11, or when you're sort of at that age where you're mature enough to sort of, get it and be sensible about it. I guess the overarching society and culture around guns would change.
Well, it would remove the taboo around it or the stigma if you're exposed to it at a younger age, and it's normal. Like anyone who's been exposed at a young age goes, well, this isn't all scary and what the media says. If you're responsible and you follow all the safety precautions, this is a lot of fun. You can extend it to hunting, which is great. It feels good for me. I can provide for my family. And if you teach that to kids at a young age, well, when they're a bit older and the media narrative is different to what they've experienced firsthand, then they're going to be in the hunting and firearms camp, not just jumping on board what the media is telling them. But you're right, we don't have any of that in schools, and the majority of kids aren't exposed to it at all. So they just grow up thinking guns are bad, and all these people die and blah, blah, blah.
It's hypocrisy. Wow, I can't talk. Hypocrisy. Because you got the narrative. Wow, I really can't talk today. It's been a long day.
We are on fire.
You've got this whole thing of guns are bad and this and that, but yet kids are allowed to go out and buy a PS5 and play Doom or Call of Duty and this and that. So
that'll be the next thing.
At one stage, you're saying guns are bad, but yet you're allowed to glorify in Hollywood and in video games from a younger age that a parent could control.
With probably a distorted view of what's acceptable too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what they're introducing is like a shock factor to the younger public on firearms. So if they hear anything about firearms, they're sort of shocked about it. They're probably going to be against it. So if there's no public education, they're not going to be as comfortable with the idea.
Yeah, I think Major General Cosgrove said it once in an interview that was put very well. So he was asked, because he was advocating for essentially a curriculum to be placed for firearms in schools, and the interviewer was pretty much hounding him and saying, oh, well, you're training kids to become murderers and criminals. And he's just looked at the girl and said, well, you've got the goods to be a prostitute, but you're not.
I think I've seen that, actually.
Yeah, wow. In the interview, it was terminated like straight after that, but someone's saved the interview or leaked that interview up to that point. And it's like, well, okay, you got a valid point.
The same
there,
mindset.
bro. Yeah. Yeah.
It's exactly the same mindset. You got the tools to do the wrong, so therefore, why not crucify for it? That's what they're doing for the gun owners.
Yeah. So, it's hard because I can see that we will get cancelled eventually. And like what they're doing in WA, the amnesty was like $1,000, and they didn't make that publicly known. So they'd give you $1,000 for a gun that you turned in. but then they changed the law and made it illegal, and they didn't make the amnesty with financial recompense made known. So no one did it, and they changed the law, and then it was illegal, and now no one gets anything.
Are we talking Australian amnesty, or are we talking WA amnesty?
WA recently.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, they'll just do that in every state. And we all know some of these guns can get up to 30 grand quite easily.
Oh, yeah, depending on the brand, really.
Well, yeah, what they are and all the rest of it. So you got to.
The average guy is going to be around the 2 to 3 grand.
You got to think about that, and we're seeing an influx in guns being sold on used guns from WA at the moment. Things are, guys are wanting to get something, at least. And you know what? They shouldn't get something. They should get, if it is made law, they should get everything and then some on top for their mental anguish.
Yeah, for the inconvenience.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, that's
it. Should be double.
Should be above market value, not below.
It should be double. They did do this at one stage in the original buyback in 96, something like that.
96.
They did do this, and the laws were that skewed that I knew a guy actually at Para Range, and he was a silhouette pistol shooter, and they made it that you couldn't shoot anything over essentially 9mm for metallic silhouette. And he's like, okay, and he had some particular revolver, I can't remember. But the law was you can't use it, or you can't justify the use unless you're in a club and you shoot that discipline. So he's smart, and and they were offering good money. He was smart, and he was like, okay. So he handed in the gun and got double the price of the gun, then went out and bought 2 with the reasoning that he was a club member and shot metallic silhouette. So he was like, it's kind of retarded.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I like that topic, Shannon.
Yeah, that went well. Caleb.
Sorry, we're capping this at 30 minutes, so let's just end it. I got a kid and missus to get home to.
No, this has been good so far. So do you want me to repeat what I said, Caleb?
Yeah, well, quickly.
Cancel culture, holding people accountable, or killing free speech?
I think for a period of time there, cancel culture was killing free speech, but I think it's starting to shift the other way, especially with old mate Trump over there in the US and Elon getting back Twitter. Like, the way the media was going, I think, is changed or is changing. It's sort of heading back the other way. Unfortunately, here in Australia, we're still pretty shit with it, but we generally follow the US.
Have you listened to like our mainstream news, man? Half of it is a crock of shit.
It's absolutely a crock of shit.
So hard.
Everyone, I can't believe how adults. Now, I'm going to use this as an example, or the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, right? No one knows from the general public and the media, right, what exactly is going on. And they're all passing one narrative, and we know that. But you look at it and you go, well, if you're a leader of, say, a country that was, I don't know, geographically located in Russia, and you just wanted to be left alone to run your own thing, and people voted you in, and yep, look, Putin's done some dodgy so he can last longer than what he should have. But hey, the people have put up with it, and I dare say the majority agree with it because he's still in power. So you look at it and you go, okay, well, he's just doing what he thinks is best for his nation, and most of his nation realistically by now probably agree with it, because if they didn't agree with it, there would have been a coup, or there would have been a revolution or something like that, So you sort of sit there and go, but no adult in their right mind can think from both sides of the fence anymore. It's just
Did you see the support levels of what Trump's been doing? So for the support for Trump is 55%, right? But the support for what Trump is doing is about 73.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and therein lies. He's actually
you don't
doing
have to
what
like
he
the
said.
guy.
Yeah, you don't have to like the guy, but he's actually doing what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, but you don't vote the guy in. You vote what he's going to do for your country.
Yeah.
You know, Ukraine's got an ex-comedian running the show. So you're just like, okay, you know, cool.
One of my favourite people to watch at the moment is Trump's press secretary. She absolutely shuts people down.
It's brutal.
When the mainstream media start just telling pork chops or trying to catch her out, she fucking cleans them up. It's so good. We need someone like that here. We need just a no bullshit.
That's not to say
person.
that everything that Trump does is right, or you agree with what the man stands for. Well, not what he stands for, but his character.
Everything anyone does isn't right. Like that's just what you're in. Well, what your intentions are behind it, I guess.
No one's perfect, but
there's one person that was, and he died for everyone's sin.
Go Bible study with Josh again. That was the title of last week's episode, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Sunday school with Josh.
Yeah, but there was one person, and he was unbiased. So
flawless.
Just throwing it in there. He was not blemished, spotless,
flawless, like your beautiful brain, Josh. Except for tonight, we're all struggling.
That's rife with flaws, mate.
Yes, it definitely is. Quick whip around for next 2, then we're done. Quick 15, then we're done.
Well, we make it what it is and just keep going.
Right, well, we need to keep it brisk. I'll go next with a topic.
Go for it.
We can keep this quite short, I reckon. What are you currently lusting after?
Say that again.
What are you currently lusting after? Is there a
conveniently said after a show in another state?
Is there? Shut up. Is there a human? Is there a product? What are you currently lusting after? Is it a new car? Is it a new TV? Is it a new piece of hunting kit? Is it a hunting trip? What are you lusting after right now? What fills your mind?
After pre-podcast planning for a hunt.
Well,
I've got one, and it's pretty simple. And I'm probably, lusting is probably feel like a very over-the-top word.
Does it start with D?
But to be honest, I'm lusting the fact of going in for a hunting trip with you two.
All right, well, let's just keep it simple. We're all probably lusting after that. Given we were discussing this before we even started recording and the internet was being an absolute bitch.
It was, yes. I'm lusting for a good internet for you, Caleb. That's what I'm doing.
Look, it started with you and I, Caleb, spitball on this afternoon, and then it's rolled into this. Okay, this is plausible. We could all get to the same state at the same time.
Let's not guarantee anything right now, but yeah, there's still a few boxes to tick. But yeah, it's looking good. Looking good.
Look, I'd say it's about a 63% chance, which is better than every other time when it's been like 9.
That's light years above the rest.
I'm going with or without you two. Put it that way. I'm putting in the leave tonight.
So, I don't know. There is something, man, and that's I'm back on the. Sorry. All right. Backstory. Bought a D-Max.
Mm-hmm.
Second hand, nothing flashy. Mrs. sort of talked us into, don't buy new because you'd end up just putting a dead deer in the back seat and bringing it home. I'm like, okay. And essentially it was for, okay, we'll have curtain airbags and, braking assist and this and that for the kid, the missus. But they haven't been in the car since the kid's been born. So I'm like, okay. So I'm back on the 79 series single cab train.
Are you just?
Yeah.
Are you? Fuck yeah. I wouldn't, but good for you, man.
Look, it was just like a thought.
Tell you what, The Kia Tasman. I had a look in it the weekend.
I was literally
mint.
about to say the same.
And I was talking to the lads there, and they were saying they're outperforming the four-wheel drive capabilities.
The what?
Of the 79 series, exactly.
The what?
Kia Tasman.
So
What
the
is
Kia
that?
Tasman. Have a look at it. It is. So the front end kind of looks a little tiny again, in my opinion. But you jump inside, it looks mint. And then for the performance-wise, it is doing extremely well.
Yeah, but is it a SAS front?
Look,
Just Google it, man.
I think it's. I'm googling it now with my limited internet.
Yeah, 2 megabytes. It'll be like the dial-up where your photo just slowly scrolls down.
Yeah,
as it loads.
it's like buffering a 600 kilobyte photo.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Ouch.
That's not hybrid or anything?
That's pretty sure it's petrol. Like it's a.
Ew.
It's not petrol diesel. It's a fuel. It's not a electric car, is it? Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure it's not.
I'm buffering still, bro. This is terrible.
Let's give me a second.
I love the interior though. Like it's all like touchscreen across the.
It's a turbo diesel. It's a 2.2 liter turbo diesel.
Okay.
See, that's how you get fucking Starlink, Caleb.
I can't believe how slow this is. Here we go.
I can, and the rest of our listeners can.
Oh man, this is diabolical. Here
How
we go.
much
I'm
does it cost?
getting specs up. The specs are coming.
Like the front end looks a little weird, in my opinion, but I feel like everything else makes up for it. And if I had to buy another car, it was in my price range. I'm not sure how much it costs.
40
I'll
to
be
70.
keen to give it a crack.
No. The one we saw was
It was top of the range.
Give me the specs for fuck's sake. Oh man, you got to do this because
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Just give me a second.
That looks smart
Just
inside.
fluff.
the interior's mint, bro.
It reminds me of like not that I've been in a Tesla, but how I'll perceive the Tesla to be is like one big screen from pretty much almost the passenger side, right-hand side of them, all the way through to the driver's side.
Nah, that doesn't go up to the screen.
Here we go.
Oh, it's not that quite. Yeah, it's center of the dash, left-hand side of the dash to all the way across to.
That looks pretty good. That's a rendering, but it looks good. It looked good in person.
Well, it's one of those. I'm looking at the photo now, and it's one of those things where I don't feel the same as how I did when I actually got in it.
Yes. In person, it looks better than the photos.
Okay.
2.2 litre turbocharged diesel engine, 8-speed auto transmission.
Ooh.
And one of the guys that was working at the Kia stand he literally said that it is outperforming the 79 by light years.
Well, wait a second.
In a full driving sort of world.
150 kilowatts, 441 Newton meters, and 7.5 liters to the 100. That's not bad. I mean, I've known a 70 series V8 after it's been remapped. It's got that. After
Yeah,
it's
but
been
dude, how much are you spending on the remap plus the vehicle?
It was $1,200
Plus.
for the remap.
Okay. And look at have you had a look at the dash, the photo of the dash there?
Yeah,
It's
I've got the dash with all the center console.
What's the 79 got? 79 hasn't got power windows.
Yeah.
You've got hard plastic door seals that don't hold out sound. Like what do you have in a 79 that compares to that?
It's a column shift.
No,
Dude, you've got
it's 8-speed
you've got
auto.
a column shift in a 79.
No,
that's
it's
probably
a Kia column shift.
No,
it's
it's an 8-speed auto, bro.
yeah. Yes.
Oh, but column
Column-
select. Yeah, there is no they've maximized the center console.
You've probably still got a fucking choke in the 79. So you have to pull out when you start it.
Which is not a bad thing for cold morning.
There's cold start buttons these days, bro.
We live in Australia.
Yeah, button, whatever.
What was it 2004 Navara had a cold start button.
Yeah,
Didn't have a
so-
choke fucking pull out. Like, how far back does that go to get a choke start pull out?
Yeah, but don't fix what ain't broken.
I don't know. I'm trying to play a video right now because that's not going to work.
Yeah, I would.
Look, the only thing that I would say is it's probably still too early for mods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But is it a lifetime vehicle or is it a 10-year vehicle? What is it?
The 79, is a lifetime car.
Mm.
Well, it want to be because it costs you half a house.
Well, no, this isn't. This is like 40 to 70, and a 79 single cab. Okay, you can get a clapped out one for like 70, But I mean, 80K is going to get you some low Ks. You know.
So with the 79 aspect of your idea, what time frame are you thinking about that may be an option? 12 months?
Well, it's probably a pipe dream, but
Yeah. So
unless
mid
someone wants
2025.
to gift me a 79 series, like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
look,
not happening.
listeners out there, if you want Send It Mate to have a 79, look,
Look,
we're open. We'll even come pick the thing up.
Yeah, like if you're from Queensland, hit me up.
No. This ain't a Shannon thing.
That'd be funny as fuck if someone gave me a 79. But mid 2025, this becomes available. Give it a test run, and I reckon just let that marinate.
Okay.
Your selector is on the column. You are right, but it makes the center console way more roomy. I've driven
and it's got cup holders.
I've driven a brand new Kia Carnival as a hire car before. And I don't know about you, Couchy, because I'm pretty sure you have too. Like, the center console was just insane how much room for shit there was.
Oh, it's huge. Like, it lets you know what you're missing out on. That's the problem.
Yeah.
What's its towing capacity?
3.5 ton.
Well, that's an upgrade for a 79 to get that much, isn't it?
No, but the 79 can go.
Bullshit. I'm pretty sure it is. You need an upgrade for it.
The 79 is not 3.5, but you can get an upgrade for 4,495.
I'm not seeing pricing anywhere, but it does say 40 to 70. Build and price. Come on. Load. Anyway, what were we talking about to get there? We were talking about lusting after something, weren't we?
Lusting? What are you lusting after?
So Josh is lusting after a 79 again, which is, I feel like this is...
And I went the 100 trip, so we're up to Josh.
This is 2020, Josh, and coming back again.
Yeah, this is a full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm pretty keen, and it gets perpetuated by every 79 I see out on the road. All my mates have got one.
Like 79s are quite a popular vehicle, but the base model is 90 grand. I was looking at it now. 2024, 90 grand.
Yeah,
base model
stuff.
Yeah, you get that at fleet
brand
prices
new,
for like 84.
Second hand's probably 95 because they're never cheaper.
I did see one actually on used cars for $250,000.
Did you?
And I was like, are you kidding? See, where have we gone wrong? Where has the expectation of a second-hand car overtaken you? You know, yes, it's COVID, and I understand COVID, but now as like, I guess a young person, I'd be like, someone put it up, I'd go see it, take it for a drive, and be like, mate, I'm going to give you 60K for it, cash. And they'd be like,
was it an 8 litre?
That's fine. They can go through 10 people that do that.
Yeah, was it a V8?
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah, so they don't make them anymore, do they?
No.
So you can ask whatever you fucking want.
No, I don't think you should, because there's some that are still going.
But you can. It's price and demand.
For like 250, 300,000 Ks on the clock, man, and they're going for like 90, 110 grand. And you're like, you're shitting me. You know, like there's still stuff out there that's like 36,000 Ks that people want 90 grand for, 80 grand for.
We'll buy that.
It's insane.
I've been looking at it. But actually, there's another gripe. I got a panel. I bought the car with a damaged panel. And man, I've gone through so many crash repairers to get it fixed, and no one been like, look, the cash, let's do it. And they're like, yep, we can't. We're busy for a month. We'll do it next month. We'll give you a call when we're free. And you can bring it in, and I've never got a phone call back.
Because I want to do it as an insurance job and tack on a fucking $3,000 extra.
Yeah, but I've even said to guys, I will pay whatever it needs to get it done.
Okay.
Look, it looks a little poxy.
Sorry, the video's loaded, Shannon. It doesn't look amazing. But I think with like aftermarket bull bar and some better tyres and wheels and a lift and all that sort of shit, it would actually look all right.
Or do you
I think that's what old mate was saying, was it needs a bull bar.
Fucking oath it does.
But Yeah, because it will just change the front end, and that's probably the worst thing about that.
Do you know what? I'm looking at a tan version at the moment, and the wheel arches are not appealing to me. Because on the black model, the wheel arches,
blend.
plasticky wheel arches blend in, and this tan one, they stick out. Oh, look, it's not sexy. The interior's sexy as fuck, but it's biggest ute in class is going to be.
I don't know. I reckon it's worth a look.
Anyway, worth a look.
That's for sure.
See what happens.
We're not sponsored
in mid
any way,
25.
shape, or form.
But we could be if you want us to be. 3.
Yeah,
The cost is 3 of them.
Provide 3. We will drive them around with signage.
We'll think about it if you give us one.
We will fondle the door handles.
We will moist the public for your
We will
sales.
lube them up, ready for you to send it home. The sale. All right. Well, all right. I can't. I'm lusting after a hunting trip. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We're approaching the hour mark. What do you reckon, Josh? You got anything?
I do.
Do
I
it.
do. And that is the sanctions between the US and Australia that was placed. I don't know where they're up to, but go.
Stop watching it. I
So you
can't
don't
Google.
know any details on it?
Stop watching.
I'm getting it, man.
Stop.
So I believe it was, we ended up putting a tariff on our steel.
We did.
We did after a tariff on something that the US.
Look, I feel like that it makes sense that we would respond back to an equal value.
Yeah, but
and we should be doing that across the board, not just for America. We should be doing this for all the oil and coal and everything else we export as well. We should be charging premium prices. So I feel like if there's anything, this should get the ball rolling for that sort of mindset. If that makes sense. I'm just trying to search up what it is.
Stop saying search up.
Caleb has like 0 idea.
Search up. I'm trying to Google.
He's like,
all right, so
tariffs?
this is a conversation that we had. So should you call it you're Googling something, or should you call it searching up? Because from Caleb's opinion, that's a millennial, or not millennial, like a, what do you call it?
Gen
your
Z.
kids. What's your Gen Z? That's their point of view on searching up. But my opinion is, if you want a toasted sandwich, you don't call it a Breville sandwich because that's the brand, not the actual action.
Yeah, man. But
So
plenty
your
of
action
people have
is
said.
searching up a.
Plenty of people have said go hoover the fucking carpet.
Or Georgia Foreman.
Yeah, but I disagree with that. Hoovering the carpet, it's a vacuum.
Googling it, I feel like Google's gotten so big now. Googling it's fine.
Yeah,
Our
but
generation
that's
say
what a
Google.
Breville is to toasted sandwich. It's so big that you call it that name by the brand, and that's how you know it's successful.
Breville's not as big as Google.
Hey?
Breville's not as big as Google.
Google wins. Shut up.
100%.
Google's like a self-perpetuating thing.
It is.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
power to Google.
I want
That's like
pods
calling
sleep
you going to
anywhere.
drive a Toyota, but you're referencing a car because Toyota's so big. You're just calling it a Toyota, and doesn't matter what brand it is.
It doesn't because you know it's going to be good.
I disagree.
I got to give it to the
I
Jets.
cannot find the actual tariffs, Josh.
I don't know
So-
anything. I've been away for 4 days across the weekend and before the weekend, and
What
I've
happened
not watched
last
any
week,
current
so-
affairs or news.
You're too busy watching Love on First Island or, rooting my stepmom or something on TV.
Married at Love Island.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Married at the block on Love Island.
I don't know.
I don't-
You know they're bringing out a gay block now.
Nah, that'll get canned, bro.
You reckon? I won't be watching it, that's for sure.
I'm pretty sure
Actually-
was planned, but not going to happen.
The missus has gotten to watching this show where they put a bunch of people, they marry them blindly, and then stick them in a hotel for X amount of weeks. And I'm like, this is trash.
My missus watches that.
I'm like, this is who? What? No. Or that,
It's called Blind Date.
mate, I'm just
Jesus.
like, are you all that lost that this is entertaining? And she's like, yeah, we just do it for a giggle. I'm like, no, because your views count to their budget to make it run next season. So get rid of it.
Tell you what I am watching right now. Season 3 of Reacher. It's fucking good.
Really?
Mm.
Okay. Second season was difficult.
Season 3's all right.
Okay.
Bit of a different spin on it. They can do that with him because he's just a drifter that walks around. So,
Look, and he's a fairly handsome man.
dude, he's my man crush.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Look.
Do you want some context on this tariff shit, Josh?
Yeah, sure.
So, US tariffs of 25% on steel and aluminium from Australia.
Mhm.
I think what Australia is contemplating doing, they haven't done, as far as this article says, that we're looking at bumping up our tariff to beef exports. Because America are a main export out of Australia of our beef and goat and just meat in general. So we're looking at bumping up our tariffs to kind of, I'm guessing, wash out their tariffs on the steel.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tariff wars.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm definitely not against what Trump's doing. If he wants
It drives up living costs. That's what it does. If everyone tries to play tariffs against each other, it across the border will drive up everything.
Till it eventually just evens itself out and sorts.
Yeah, it needs to crumble or smooth out.
It's got to reach critical mass, and then it will fucking. All right, let's stop this game. Until then, it's just going to be a dick measuring competition. Trump uses it as leverage. Well, if you're not going to play ball, then I'm going to tariff you. But the end game, supposedly, is to abolish income tax because they want to make their money off tariffs rather than income tax.
Well, they have.
Yeah.
They have abolished tax for.
Abolish income tax, correct.
No, overtime already. The US has. Any overtime is no longer taxed.
Which is a great thing.
Look, I don't know. I do think maybe if we were a little less comfortable and a little back to worried about what we're going to eat of an evening and sharing that with the family and a little bit more elbow grease, I sort of think that, all this would sort of go away a little bit, especially if you're just worried about your own country, just supplying the needs at low cost for your own country.
Yeah.
I understand that's no good for large companies that are greedy, that want more power and money. I understand that. That's no good. But I do think we'd all just be better off if that was the case. Export and trade's still a thing, but the prices are the price that we buy it at. Let's keep that standardised. And priority is our own country. I don't know. But we've shot ourselves in the foot, and that's pretty much not going to happen. It's too much of a big machine now for that to happen, for us to go back.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it? Actually, after your little cyclone.
Oh, yeah, we're talking after cyclone now.
Your little whirly over there. How's my canal idea looking for you, Shane?
What, to just bump off WA?
No,
It's looking bloody good.
Get some water in the centre of Australia and rejuvenate the desert.
Well, I'm not sure how much water you get through the ranges of Queensland from Brisbane and Gold Coast area. You get stuff all, but it'd be good to be able to spread that water rather than having to lose it out in the sea. 100%. I was always with the idea. I just didn't know how to implement it.
Get an excavator and start digging.
Look, if you're going to pay me to dig, I'll dig.
Pay you 1 cent an hour.
No.
Actually, you probably
that's where your problem is, because you can't afford me.
2 cents. Settle down. Look, I'll give you 2 cents and my 10 cents is free.
Jesus.
You sent for me. This looks like a job for me. Anyway, all right, well, we managed to...
No.
We busted a podcast out somehow.
We did. Actually, ended up all right.
Yeah, it did.
I think.
Probably the worst start.
You got to tell us.
Fucking recorded history, but we got there, we powered through, we persevered, and we may or may not be back next week.
We will be back.
Oh, we will be back, just maybe not
next
week.
we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. There's a bit of travelling happening, but
This looks like a job for us.
I'm just going to sow that seed. There may be 1 week break. There may
We'll
not
see how we
be.
go.
But
So, yeah.
it's,
No, it was good to have another episode. It was good.
it was. We got there. Better than nothing. I don't know how many fucking disclaimers I could put in this thing, but hope you enjoyed us in a diminished capacity. We're trying. We love you guys. We love your feedback. Keep talking to us. And Shannon, this is way easier to talk to you when we can see your face. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I feel like you're more part of the conversation. But then again, I feel like you don't talk over me as much on a phone call here compared to on recording of the video.
Let's just
So that's kind of a
Someone's
weird
having a
aspect.
wear.
let's fucking mute him. I'm done.
No, that's just an observation. That's all.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, guys. Persevering through this. I'm not sure what you call it, but yeah, I hope to see you next week.
Let's call this clusterfuck.
Again.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jim.
This looks like a job for me. Sorry. That's all I've been thinking the last 10 minutes. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.